as you know, ready? As you know, I was in the Royal Air Force during the war, during the Great War, 39-45. And this is a story I told to the kids on LINKages a couple of weeks ago. And they got quite, excuse me, they got quite a kick out of it. Now, being in the RAF, I wasn't in any command which had any direct confrontation with the enemy. I was stationed for a while, for a couple of years, in West Africa, in Ghana, on the Gold Coast, which was called the White Man's Grave. A place called Takoradi, and from there we used to take off. I used to fly in Wellington Air. I wasn't a pilot, I was a navigator in the twin-engine Wellington planes. And we used to fly out over the Gulf of Guinea, looking after Allied shipping, you know, escorting them right through the Gulf of Guinea, up to the tip of South Africa, and up through to Gibraltar, and so forth. If they wanted to go across to the United States, well, then they had a different convoy. But we used to look after these convoys, and these convoys also, they were liable to be attacked by Japanese ships and also Japanese submarines. And once when we were patrolling over the Gulf of Guinea, the observer in our plane looked out and thought what he saw was a submarine. It was about the length of this room, about 25-30 feet. It had a flume sticking up, and it was just ploughing along, so we decided to take a closer look, and we dived down, and then this thing dived down, you see. I thought, well, the operator in the sub is saying, well, dive, dive, dive. Well, we dived down, and 2 or 3 minutes later, we spied him on the starboard side, on the right side. And this thing was going, ploughing along. We saw the flume, you know, the white spout in the front there, going along, and we thought, well, this is rather strange, you know. So we followed him for several miles, didn't do anything, just skimming below the surface of the water. And I thought, well, let's be on the safe side. Let's just drop a couple of 250 pounds or so, you know, just to be on the safe side. If it is a submarine, fine. So we did. We got closer. The observer and myself lined up a couple of 250 pounders, dropped the bombs, and one was a miss, one was a direct hit right on the tail part, you see. And you never saw such a kerfuffle in all your life. For about 2 minutes after this, there was fish coming from all directions, everywhere, all little fish, barracudas, everything, the whole bit. And there were bits of this, what we thought was a submarine, just all over the place. We found out afterwards that it was a whale, a sperm whale. The white flume, which we thought was the periscope, that was the flume. It was a spouting whale, you see. But all in all, I mean, in those circumstances, you don't take any chances at all. You don't know whether it's a submarine or a midget submarine. We had those two, or what it was. So we dropped these 250 pounders on the whale. It exploded. Within about 10 minutes, it cleaned up. It cleaned up the whole damn mess anyway. The barracudas ate it, and we went on our way quite merrily. Just we were patrolling at that time, not escorting anybody. So for hundreds of miles all around, it was quite nice and clear, you see. So we decided to do another half an hour's trip and then just come back home, just call it a day. And that was the whale story. I've got another one. In this linkage program, we talk to the kids. Incidentally, this Thursday, I think tomorrow, they're going to tell us their experiences to us. You see. So this is a sort of a reciprocal arrangement. But the other time, I was in England, in London, on leave at the time, and I was going to. I don't know whether I was going to meet a girl or go to a show or whatever. But I was on a trip in a train from my place where I lived in Epping to London, which was a distance of about 18 miles, roughly. It took about an hour. And this was in the evening time because I was going up to think I was going up to see a show. And the air raid siren started before we got halfway there. And we got halfway, and there was the sound of the anti-aircraft guns, you know, just booming in the distance, and they came gradually closer and closer and closer. And I thought, God, this is it. I've got about half an hour to get to London and get to the show, you see. What's going to happen? You can't get out, you can't do anything. You know, just sit there in half-concealed light in the train. Not the underground, this is the overground. So we stopped for a while anyway, and there was flashes, gun flashes, anti-aircraft flashes all over the place. And all the carriages were there's no lights in them, except a little light in the top of the train, which led on the floor. You could actually see all around, but not that much anyway. But I looked all around, and there were bombs, presumably crashing all around, and anti-aircraft guns blowing. And I thought, well, you know, why didn't they go? We found out afterwards that there was a bomb on the track, so an unexploded bomb, so we couldn't go any further anyway. But one of these flashes, I looked out of the window, and to my horror and surprise, it was all lit up. It was all lit up. There was the biggest match factory in all of England, a place called Bryant and May, in a place called Bethnal Green. And if that bomb, or any of the bombs, had gone off at that particular time, I wouldn't be here to tell the tale, because they stored phosphorus, they stored magnesium, they made Molotov cocktails, they made bombs, they made everything. And we was about as far as from here to the road, you know, sitting in the train just waiting for something to happen. But we had to change trains about half an hour afterwards, you know. We walked along the track and changed the train in front of the unexploded, but we didn't know it was an unexploded bomb. They didn't tell us till afterwards anyway. And then we went on our way, but I never did see the show anyway. By the time I got up there, it was time to come back home anyway. But those are two of my experiences in wartime England. Anyway, quite interesting. But I'm looking forward to hearing the children's one tomorrow anyway, in this linkage program. Good. Nice of you to listen. Thank you.